We are the League of Light, and we come to you today to speak about some of the things that have been happening in your world. Lately, you've been witnessing various disturbing trends, some images and ideas that are abhorrent to most human beings. It is a time of coming to the point of breaking away from that which has held you in a captivity for eons, and indeed far, far beyond the history of this world itself. We will be getting into those kinds of discussions later, but for now we'd like to speak to you about how you can position yourself with regard to these things, how to calm yourself, and how to incorporate what you're seeing without becoming poisoned by it, without having it steal your soul. For indeed, that is the purpose of it, not from the benevolent, caretaking, loving influences of nature, of course, but by those influences which have been given free rein in this world, and further beyond the limitations of this world itself, in this reality that you're exploring on many dimensional levels. Now, we will ask you to relax and join with us as we explore this. And if you can stay with our breath and with our intent, it will be a high probability that you'll come through the end of this short discussion feeling a bit different than you may have been feeling recently. Now, if you are not familiar with some of the nefarious goings on in your world of late, we can refer you to those inputs where all kinds of tangles of lostness and depravity, evil, have been displayed in full colour for you to see. However, to dwell too long on these things is going to have a detrimental effect on you. Allow it to challenge your structures of belief, for this is something that we have been encouraging you to do, to find the weaknesses in your belief structures and to begin to dismantle them so that you are not captive within them. And this you can find a greater freedom, and despite the outward appearance of the evil that is around you in your world, you can find a liberation from the detrimental effects upon your spirit if you can let go of some of these belief structures. Now, take a breath and journey with us. From the beginning of the adventure of being human within this universal construct, there has been the exploration of finding a way back from separation to the source of that life and light encoded impulse of intelligence that has taken form all around. Part of this has been the exploration of the darker sides of human nature and other kinds of natures. We'll leave it at that. Your imaginations have been filled with all kinds of stimuli to draw pictures that will satisfy you for now, be they with scales and tails or slitty eyes. We'll leave that to you. The picture itself will be drawing more detail in the days to come as more of the truth is revealed. Now, There is a grand history that underlies the emanation of evil in your world today that has taken such a grand appearance. We're going to leave the history for now and focus on your immediate experience as you sit in front of a screen, as you sit in front of a picture in a magazine or a newspaper, as you sit in a conversation with someone who is laying out the details of some barbarous exculpation of depravity. You are feeling deeply the grief and the separation from life itself. The truth is, you cannot be separate from life. However, fear has a way of manipulating your sensory input. And we mean this on all levels, not just the 5 senses that you know, but your spiritual sensory input and your intuition, your intelligence, and your inner antenna that links you to the divine. This is always in operation. However separation may appear, it is well for you to gather the grieving ones in your arms and to breathe peace upon them. It is well for you to grieve for those who cannot grieve, to experience a release of life for those who have had it snatched away from them in, as we have said, barbarous ways. It is something that you have explored through lifetimes, and we have explored through lifetimes. And the truth is, it is something that has stretched back in our shared genetics into the history of the human adventure in this universe. So what we're seeing now is a microcosm of something that has been happening for a very long time. Your soul is precious, it is divine, and it is alive. Those who seek to consume it are coming also to a point where the intensity of their drive to destroy is meeting the intensity of the appearance of light within those who they seek to destroy, those whose souls they seek to consume. Among you, humans of Earth, is a light that's growing, and it cannot be denied, and it cannot be escaped. You may ignore it, and you may pull the covers over your head and try to stay asleep for a bit longer, but the truth is, the time of awakening is here. Now, what you're seeing is bringing up a lot of fear, a lot of anger, a lot of depression, a lot of sadness. We understand this because we felt it too. Consider for a moment the light that you carry is the thing that those who seek to destroy you fear the most. Dear ones, within the love that you contain is a light so brilliant and alive that it is feared by those who cannot understand it, and is therefore your greatest defense against the invasion of evil into your consciousness. In the turbulence that happens in the meeting of this fear being foisted upon you, and the light that is growing within you is a no man's land of confusion. It's a place where, within the science of 9 that we have laid out for you, the energies of 6 are at work. And remember that 6 is teaching you how to find rationality, faith, and empowerment. So within this turbulent chaos of mind that you are experiencing now, where messages are coming at you right and left, up and down, and nothing is making sense for very long, remember that you are being trimmed of all the nonsense that is attaching you to those things that are pulling from one direction and another. Don't let them rip you apart. Let go of the need to understand, of the need to define. Know that there is a great awakening happening, and there is a great movement underfoot, unseen, intuited, suspected, that is having the effect of undermining the great plans of those who wish to destroy everything. Everything. We'll leave it at that. Now, this is a lot of information, and you have been having a lot of information, so we would like to draw your attention into a brief meditational moment in which you can find some rest from your work of making sense of things and finding the way out of a pit that really is just a rabbit hole and is moving into a new reality. We ask you to join us now in a moment of remembrance of what it is to be human, to lay aside all of the definitions and fears that you have carried for so long, all those things that have defined you, that you have allowed others to define you by, or that you have fought against allowing others to define you by. Lay them aside, dear ones, lay them aside. For now, you and we are in remembrance of what it is to be human and what it is to be divine, as an emanation from the heart of the source of all life. Call it what you may. If you'd like to call it God, if you would like to call it Goddess, if you would like to call it the Source, we call it Om. For this is an understanding that we can share with you without losing too many of you along the way. Now, settle. As you draw in your breath, find the place within you that it hits the deepest, and relax into that and feel an expansion. We are with you now, and if you are hearing our voice, become aware of our presence around you. Know that we are with you, just around a corner of a dimensional viewpoint within the same reality construct that you are in now. We are present. We are with you to remind you of our connection. Breathe deeply and relax, and know that you're safe in this moment. If you have thoughts of others who are not safe in this moment, gather them in your breath and in your love. Embrace this. And know that we are present. We are accompanied by various interdimensional emanations of life, what you might call angels, elementals, fairies. However, we are a meta-human part of you. Outside of time, we are you. Allow your breath to settle. As you exhale, allow it to extend the light that is within you. And know that it's blowing away the resolve of those who would do harm, of those who would seek to upset the natural order of evolutionary, ascensional, expansional growth of the human consciousness. See it wither from within, and know that your love for yourself, for those around you who threaten you by being smarter or more wealthy, more successful, whatever it is that threatens you. Your love shifts all of this. If you can, allow it. Feel the constructs of your belief about who you are. Dissolve. Feel them blow away like dust. Who comes up in front of you now? Breathe love. All those who grieve, all those who suffer, all those who commit these acts are dwelling within the same universe, and the fragrance of this universe, and the fabric of this universe is the substance of love. If you cannot love that which is heinous, and we understand this is not this is not an easy thing. But if you cannot love that which is heinous, understand in your hatred of it and your vehemence against it, and the steely, cold desire to destroy that which is heinous. What impulses that hatred? At its root is love. But if you didn't love, you wouldn't hate. Now, Rest with that moment. If the root of your hatred is love, and that love is for the victim, the sufferer, the lost, the one who's been sacrificed, can you launch from within your love for that a forgiveness of yourself for hating? And allow that to pierce the heart of the one who harbors so much fear that he seeks to destroy. This is the beginning of the separation between the worlds. This is the secret weapon in the war between the light and the dark, good and evil, the polarities. It is not a blanket acceptance of that which is heinous. No. It is not condoning or allowing. It is forgiving those who don't understand why they do what they do, because they fear what they cannot understand, and they fear that they cannot possess what they do not understand. Thus they seek to consume it. And because it is so great and so powerful, in order to maintain their grounding within their fear, they will belittle it. But this is a game that they play with themselves. And those unfortunate enough to become part of their game, at the moment of their release, are liberated and return into the arms of love that have been waiting for them. Be those arms. And what will you say to that soul who you embrace? Your hatred for that which released their soul from their body is of little use to them at that moment. It is a nail that hammers in a very splintered and hard, rigid piece of belief that they would have to fight against to destroy themselves, to maintain their freedom, and to gain some treasure from their experience, to gain some understanding, and to be victorious in the face of what seeks to desecrate that which is holy. You, at your core, are holy. And that which is truly holy cannot be desecrated. The shell may be, but that which is truly holy remains and is strengthened through the expansion of love, which is at the root of the hatred that you hold in your hand. And what will you do with it? there is a strong desire to hammer it down through the heart of those who are causing so much pain in this world, to obliterate them from the face of this earth. If you hammer a steely cold hatred through the heart of a demon, do you know that you strengthen that demon and his resolve to destroy you? What then do you thrust in his heart? Be that thing that transforms the demon's heart. Be that thing yourself. You know what it is. The only way to fashion yourself into the kind of implement of love that can do this kind of transformational work is to strip away all that is not necessary. For that will just slow you down and deter you from your true purpose. When you have managed to align everything within you to trust that love is that it is everything. When you have managed to shift the polarity of hatred and to trust of a greater power of love, when you can see yourself as an emanation of that love, and every particle of you becomes aligned magnetically, as it were. You feel in your core the pulsation of life and love and the divine. It is not the part of divinity to destroy, but to transform. So when you hold this spike of hatred in your hand, consider for a moment becoming the thrust yourself of the very substance of love. Aim for the heart of the demon with that kind of faith, with that kind of knowing, with that kind of certainty that you will come through on the other side of that demon's heart, having left a hole that love will fill. And it's not your task to do anything more than that at this moment, but to intend it. There's nothing that burns a demon's heart more than love. And this fire of transformation is something it seeks to avoid, even as it seeks to consume it. Our words today may be difficult for some of you to understand. We ask that you ponder them and hold them in your heart and know that they come from a place where we of the League of Light, we of the Pleiades, we who have struggled and overcome much in our sojourn throughout the eons of how you reckon time. We understand it's difficult to understand. However, you're at crossroads now. How you emerge depends upon you, But know that the undercurrents of reality are moving in your favor. We remind you of our presence. We remind you of our love and our connection with you, which transcends time and space, in peace and with great love and with great respect. We will leave this communication with you and ask that you practice this exercise of becoming the instrument of a greater and divine act. Remember the feeling of alignment with this divinity, and peace we leave you now until we speak again.